Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmania's recovering tourism sector is receiving the largest share of new nationwide federal funding to boost businesses in regional areas. It's hoped it will allow operators to better prepare for when borders reopen, with the peak visitor season just around the corner.
Exploring the very best of Tasmania's wilderness. This tourism operator offers adventures across the state, mainly catering to overseas backpackers, and is still feeling the sharp sting of the global pandemic.
Unprecedented kind of effects. We've been closed up since March, so 6 months now, and very internationally focused business.
Today, welcoming $150 million of federal funding to aid the regional sector across Australia on World Tourism Day.
That money will go towards job generation and creation. It'll help tourism operators diversify and find ways to continue to trade while international borders remain closed.
$50 million of the funding set for businesses like Jump Tours, who heavily rely on international travellers. Around 1/4 of that will flow just to Tasmania.
It's going to be a challenging 3 to 6 months, but what we can do is control what we can control. So being really aggressive around our marketing, getting the airline services back, and obviously the money made available today, getting that money out the door pretty quickly.
I think it's essential, especially for access, and also just to get our name back out there and let people know that we're back open for business.
However, Labor says the primary focus still needs to be on workers, as many prepare to lose a chunk of their JobKeeper payments.
What we really need is support for workers and the continuation of JobKeeper to make sure that we've actually got businesses who can survive through this period and provide that wonderful experience when visitors are welcome back.
It's still hoped visitors will return soon as the peak summer season creeps closer.
It's all about summer, and the sooner we get certainty, it means people are going to start planning and start booking, and when the rest of the country's open, you'd expect that Tasmania will also be open, and that's obviously what we're hoping to see.
Ticking along on JobKeeper at the moment, so we're hoping to supplement that with some actual tours as soon as we can.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Volunteers and marine conservation experts in Strawn are tonight heading home after the mammoth rescue of 110 pilot whales. Attention will now turn to the sea burial of hundreds of carcasses from the Macquarie Heads area. The Environment Department says the disposal process will take a number of days and is dependent on the wind, tide and current conditions. Some of our state's volunteer firefighters have faced their first challenge this season, but it's not what you'd expect. Members from the Ravenswood Brigade climbing thousands of steps for mental health at one of Launceston's most iconic locations.
Feeling the burn in a bid to hose down the stigma of mental health.
It's okay to be not okay.
Ravenswood firefighters suiting up for the charity stair climb, usually held in Melbourne, this year virtual.
We've got to do 3,046 steps, which represents the amount of deaths from suicide.
It's equivalent to 58 gruelling journeys up the steps of UTAS Stadium, but it's effectively double that when you consider the trip down doesn't count.
So by the time you go down, it's going to feel it in the legs, I would imagine.
In stuffy, blaze-proof gear weighing almost 30 kilograms, it's not an easy feat.
How you going with it, mate?
Oh, slow, mate, very slow.
Keeps the heat off us, so obviously it's going to keep the heat in.
Though each of the 6 volunteers recognise the pain is well worth the gain. Money raised will be donated to suicide prevention services.
The Black Dog Foundation, the 000 Foundation, which is a new charity.
Their message for those struggling with mental health: take the first step.
Speak up if you're not feeling right. Talk to your mates, talk to your family.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
And if you or someone you know needs help, you can contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Tasmania Police is searching for a suspected firebug who torched 2 vehicles valued at around $50,000. Emergency services were called to the fire on Villiers Street in Parklands near Burnie around 10:30 last night. Investigators believe that the blaze was deliberately lit. Anyone with information should contact police. The state's thoroughbred code will see the biggest slice of a $1.3 million increase to the prize money. Racing bosses believe the rise will provide more viability for a local career in the industry.
Across the three racing codes, the stakes have never been higher. A proposed 6% increase to prize money today materialising.
That's the best increase that they've had for a number of years.
Close to $1.3 million split among the industry. As expected, thoroughbreds will receive the most, $705,000. Harness racing, $347,000, while greyhounds have been given an extra $266,000.
They have the opportunity to earn more prize money and to be able to put money back into the industry that they love.
Yet Labor says more needs to be done to repair the huge damage caused by the racing shutdown earlier this year.
Yes, a lot of hard decisions, but they've proven to be very good ones, very prudent decisions. And we're now back racing, and we've been having public to the races, so that's exactly what you want to see.
The government planning another rise in 12 months' time as the sector remains underpaid.
We're well below any other jurisdiction in Australia.
The industry is very, very happy with this increase and looks forward to more.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
More Tasmanian businesses could be in for a cash boost, with grants to be given this week to help rebuild post-COVID-19. 1,900 extra businesses will receive support under the $15 million recovery program a month after applications closed. All applicants will be notified of the outcome over the coming week. Dancing at weddings is a treasured tradition for many, and an event business behind those special days is calling for current restrictions to lift. Event Avenue's online petition already receiving around 1,000 signatures to allow everyone, not just the bridal party, to hit the dance floor.
Not being able to dance is one of the biggest reasons that this is like the nail in the coffin, should I say, to postponing. So the industry needs the certainty, and the couples they're really hurting.
The state government says the measures are extremely important in limiting the spread of the coronavirus should it occur again in our community. In the TSL, Glenorchy's season is over after a heartbreaking 3-point loss to North Hobart in Jay Bowden's last match for the club. The Magpies stormed out of the blocks to lead by 25 points at quarter time, but 5 goals from Julian DeBoz helped the Demons to the narrow win, holding off a late Glenorchy fight back.
The end of an era, with Jay Bowden gracing the TSL stage for the last time. Glenorchy desperate to send him off in style and keep their faint finals chances alive. The Magpies hitting the scoreboard first through their departing hero.
He loved it as soon as it left the boot, and look at the Magpies get around their champ.
A 5-1 first term saw them lead by 25 points at the first change. The Demons waking up in the second. 3 goals in a row reduced the margin to less than 2 goals. Jay Bowden showed his class to steady the Glenorchy ship. Their lead 10 points at half-time.
Was there a hand on it? I don't think there was.
2 quick Julian DeBoz goals put the Demons in front early in the third. And when Jai Menzies scored midway through the quarter, North were gradually pulling away from Glenorchy. The Demons also had time to submit a Mark of the Year nomination.
Up the line. What a mark that is!
North spoiling the Bowden farewell party, leading by 14 at the final change. An early Nathan McCulloch goal had them 20 points up in the final quarter. But the Magpies charged, cutting the margin to 7 points. Matthew Joseph then reduced it to 2 points with just minutes left.
It's through! It's a 2-point ball game after 19 and a half minutes in the final quarter.
But time ran out. North winning by 3 points, moving off the bottom of the ladder, also ending Glenorchy's finals hopes. Bowden finishing his career in the black and white with a loss, leaving the ground for the final time to a guard of honour. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the NTFA, Scottsdale have won the Women's Premiership, defeating Old Launcestonians by 9 points. Scottsdale got the jump early on, keeping their opponents goalless in the first half on their way to a 13-point half-time lead. Both sides had to deal with a fairy pitch invader in the third quarter as Old Launcestonians scored the only goal of the term to move within 9 points. However, Scottsdale held firm in the final quarter to secure the flag. In the Tasmanian Netball League, the Cavaliers will face the Northern Hawks in the grand final after defeating Kingston at the Silverdome last night. The first half was a tight affair, with the Cavs having their noses in front by 5 goals at half-time. They broke the game open in the third to lead by 10 goals at three-quarter time. Kingston unable to rein in the deficit as last year's premiers recorded a 61-50 win. To local soccer now, and in the NPL, Olympia has crushed South Hobart 6-3 to move into third place on the competition ladder. The Warriors blitzed its opponents in the first half, scoring 4 goals before the break to secure their third win from the last 4 matches.
Both mid-table, South and Olympia knew this was a critical match. Nick Mearns opened the scoring for Olympia, getting between the Reds' defence to slot the ball home. Nick Morton levelled from the spot after being brought down in the penalty box, but from there the Warriors took control. 3 goals in the final 5 minutes of the half saw them 4-1 up at the break. Callum Brown sealing the result with a tap-in the 69th minute. South scored some late consolations, but Olympia also added a late one through Declan Brown. At Windsor Park, Launceston City hosted a rampaging Glenorchy, the home side getting off to a horror start. The Knights doubling the lead in the 55th minute. Alex Walter capitalising on a poor back pass to finish off an impressive solo effort. Charlie Dyer pegged one back for the home side, but the comeback was dashed when Ryan Buckhouse scored Glenorchy's third with 3 minutes to play. City's dirty day made worse, with Matthew O sent off for a second yellow. Further north, ladder leaders Devonport were gifted their first goal, Brodie Dennehy capitalising on an errant Kingborough pass. A Joel Stone header put them 2-0 up. However, the Lions continued pressing, Danny Cowan converting a penalty to reduce the deficit. Todd Hinkston sealing the result just after the hour, a powerful header from a corner securing the 3 points. At Wentworth Park, it took Clarence 14 minutes to open their account, Riley Dillon finishing off from a cross, their lead increasing via a contender for Goal of the Year. Dillon was on fire, firing home a sensational volley, putting the game beyond doubt for the Zebras, who ended up winning 4-1. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. 13 degrees in Hobart today, 15 for Launceston and Devonport, and Burnie reached 14. 15 the high for St Helens and Friendly Beaches, Wynyard and Lowhead 14, 13 degrees in King Island, Maria Island and Bushy Park. Grove, Flinders Island and Strawn had a top of 12 and 6 in Lyweenie. Low-level clouds streamed onto Tasmania from the southwest with a cold air mass moving over the state. A broad area of cloud is over the Tasman Sea and southeast Australia. A frontal cloud band lies to the west of WA. Tomorrow shows a high pressure system over the southeast of the country with a high over New South Wales and west of Tasmania. A ridge will extend over central Australia and Queensland. On the water, southwesterlies 5 to 15 knots in the northwest, reaching 20 to 30 knots in the south and east. Seas 1 to 2 metres higher during the morning. A strong wind warning for eastern and southern coastal waters from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point, and a frost warning for the central north and Midlands. Tomorrow's forecast now 15 and partly cloudy in Hobart, Dover and Ouse 13. A top of 16 expected for Launceston, 16 also for Devonport and mostly sunny in Scottsdale. Burnie sunny 15 degrees, 12 and cloudy in Strawn and Stanley 15. St Helens 15 degrees, 16 partly cloudy for Swansea and early frost for Ross. On Tuesday, possible light showers in the northwest, clearing during the afternoon, fine elsewhere. Showers in the north and west on Wednesday, extending statewide during the morning. And on Thursday, more showers, particularly in the northern, western and central areas of the state. Snow expected above 800 metres. Around the country tomorrow, 22 and partly cloudy in Adelaide, showers for Perth, Sydney 20, mostly sunny, partly cloudy in Brisbane and Melbourne a top of 15. And it's currently 10 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 10 and clear, and also clear in Devonport. And that's all in weather tonight, Lou.
Lovely, thanks Letitia. And before we leave you tonight, a stunning display over Finland with Aurora Borealis lighting up the Arctic sky. The northern lights shone green, purple and pink for several hours. September is the perfect time for the aerial spectacle, a result of electrically charged particles from the sun entering the Earth's atmosphere. And that's all your news for this Sunday evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night.